Hello and welcome to today's English lesson. My name is Stuart. In today's lesson, we're looking at phrasal verbs with the verb set. Let's go to the intro. Now, today's lesson is looking at phrasal verbs with the verb set. Now, I know that you're probably asking yourself, why do we need to learn phrasal verbs? Phrasal verbs are too difficult, they're too hard to remember, and you are absolutely right. They are difficult, they're hard to remember, they change from country to country. Some phrasal verbs have 2 or 3 different meanings according to the context. Sometimes you can separate the 2 words, sometimes you can't. Sometimes there's 3-part phrasal verbs. It's complicated. The concept of phrasal verbs is complicated, but you have to learn them because in English, you're going to see phrasal verbs all the time. And not only are you going to see them all the time, but you're going to hear them all the time as well because people use them constantly in their speech, constantly when they write. And when you do your exams in English, you're going to see phrasal verbs all the time. So we need to understand what they mean. So, set. Now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 phrasal verbs with set. There are more, but these are some of the more common ones and more or less the ones that you need for that upper intermediate B2, C1 level English. Of course, if you want to go on to the next level, you'll need to know some of the more difficult ones, but for this level, these ones should be okay. So, the first one we're going to look at today is set down, and to set down means to put in writing. Now, we'll see from the example sentence how we use it in context. So, he set down his reasons for leaving in a 5-page document. So this person obviously left a company or he left an institution and he set down his reasons for leaving in the document. So he put them in writing. He set them down. He put them in writing. Now the second one is set in, and set in is to begin a period, normally unpleasant. And we use set in with weather phenomenons like rain or storms or snow or something along these lines as well. Most commonly used with in that context, let's say. So for example, you can say, let's try to get home before the rain sets in, or before the snow sets in, or before the cold sets in, or the storm sets in. So before it begins and carries on or goes on for a period of time, and it's going to become unpleasant. So we want to get home before the rain sets in, before the rain becomes long and unpleasant. Now the next one is to set back, and to set back means to delay or impede something from happening. So for example, the business opening has been set back by too much red tape. Now, if you're not familiar with the term red tape, it means bureaucracy. And if you've ever tried to open a business or tried to do anything related to the government, more than likely you have had a lot of red tape, a lot of bureaucracy, a lot of bureaucratic procedure, okay? We call that red tape in English. So set back, to delay or impede. So the business opening has been delayed by too much red tape. So set back, okay? The day has been set back, or the opening has been set back. Now the next one is set off. Now set off can mean to begin a trip. It can also mean to cause to occur. So, the examples that we have here. They have just set off on the journey of a lifetime. They have just set off. They have begun their journey. They have begun their travels. They have begun their trip. They have set off. Now it also means to cause to occur. So let's have a look at the difference here. The financial crisis set off a string of important bankruptcies. So it set off, it was the trigger, it was the cause for those bankruptcies to occur. It was set off by the financial crisis. So the financial crisis set off a string of important bankruptcies. Boom, 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 set off. Okay, those would be the two main uses of this. There are others for set off. It can also mean to detonate a bomb, for example, to set the bomb off, bang, to explode. But those are the two ones that we're going to see in this lesson. The next one is to set out. Set out is similar to set off because it also means to begin a journey. You set out on a journey, but it also means to intend to do or a plan of action. Now let's have a look at the example here. John set out to be the best English speaker in his class, okay? That was his intention. He set out to achieve that, to become the best English speaker in his class. He set out to do it. That was his intention when he began. So he set out to become the best in his class. The next one is to set aside. And if you set something aside, you keep it for a special purpose. Now, we normally talk about time, money. For example, if we set something aside, and in the example that I have here, we're talking about money. So we had to set aside $10,000 to cover legal costs. So we had some money, and we knew that there were going to be legal costs involved. So we set $10,000 aside. We didn't spend that money. We set it aside in order to cover those legal costs. So you set something aside. Money, for example, as I said before, you could also set something aside for later. Maybe you can set aside a piece of cake, for example. I can't see why not. But when we talk about money, for example, you keep it for a specific purpose. You set something aside, okay? And the last one is to set up. And to set up means to establish or to arrange. Two examples. He decided to quit and set up his own business. So he quit the job that he had in the company and he decided to set up, meaning here to establish a new business, to set it up. And could you set up a meeting with Dave's teacher? To arrange, to organize, to set up. Could you set up a meeting with the teacher, with your boss, with, I don't know, you set up a meeting with somebody. So two meanings: to establish, to quit and set up your own business. Perhaps you're thinking of setting up your own business. Very risky, but it does have its rewards. Or perhaps you need to set up a meeting, arrange to set up a meeting with your kid's teacher or a friend or some other important person that you want to meet with. You need to set up a meeting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 phrasal verbs with the verb set. Now, thank you very much for watching the lesson. Any questions or comments, please leave them in the section below. Please share the video on social media, Facebook, Google+, Twitter, Pinterest. Share it up on social media. I'll see you in the next lesson. Have a good day. Bye for now.